Have you ever pondered the challenging question of why suffering exists if a perfectly powerful and good being created the world? It is a deep philosophical puzzle that has occupied thinkers for centuries, and understanding its nuances can truly sharpen your critical thinking. The core difference between the logical problem of evil and the evidential problem of evil lies in their approach to proving God's non-existence. The logical problem argues that the mere existence of evil is absolutely incompatible with an all-good and all-powerful God, suggesting a direct contradiction. In contrast, the evidential problem concedes that God and evil might coexist, but argues that the specific types, amounts, and distribution of evil we observe in our world make God's existence highly improbable. Let us dive deeper into why this distinction matters. The logical problem of evil is a deductive argument, meaning it seeks to demonstrate an inherent contradiction. It states that if God is omnipotent, omniscient, and omnibenevolent, then evil logically cannot exist. Since evil clearly does exist, the conclusion is that such a God does not. This problem usually defines evil as any suffering or imperfection. For this argument to succeed, one must show that there is absolutely no possible way for an all-good and all-powerful God to permit any evil, regardless of purpose or outcome. However, the evidential problem takes an inductive approach, much like a detective examining clues. It looks at the world and sees specific instances of suffering, such as children dying from painful diseases, natural disasters causing widespread devastation, or acts of extreme cruelty that seem to serve no greater purpose. The argument here is not that these evils make God's existence impossible, but rather that they make it very unlikely. It suggests that if an all-good and all-powerful God existed, we would expect to see a world with significantly less, or at least different kinds of, suffering. The evidence of gratuitous evil, or evil without a discernible good purpose, forms the crux of this argument, making the existence of such a God seem improbable to a reasonable observer. Grasping this distinction allows you to more accurately analyze arguments about the problem of evil. When you encounter someone asserting that God and evil cannot logically coexist, you are dealing with the logical problem. If the argument instead points to specific, seemingly senseless instances of suffering as evidence against God, then it is engaging with the evidential problem. This understanding helps you frame your own philosophical inquiries and respond to various arguments with greater precision, guiding you to address the specific type of challenge being posed. Philosophical discourse has seen many attempts to resolve these issues. A common response to the logical problem is the free will defense, which posits that God permits evil because allowing genuine free will, even with the risk of evil, is a greater good. This argument aims to show that a coherent scenario exists where God and evil can logically coexist. Because of such defenses, many contemporary philosophers consider the logical problem of evil to be largely resolved, shifting focus to the more nuanced and perhaps more challenging evidential problem. Responses to the evidential problem often involve what is called skeptical theism, which suggests that humans might not be able to comprehend God's morally sufficient reasons for permitting certain evils, implying that our inability to see a reason does not mean a reason does not exist. Ultimately, understanding the difference between the logical and evidential problems of evil moves you beyond a superficial understanding of suffering and divine existence. It equips you with the tools to dissect complex arguments, explore the intricate relationship between theological concepts and observed reality, and engage in deeper, more informed philosophical discussions about the nature of good, evil, and the divine. This knowledge empowers you to critically evaluate both religious and secular perspectives on one of humanity's most enduring questions.
If you're into this, like, subscribe, and drop a comment.